Let's check out Catfish Blues by Jimi Hendrix. I've actually noticed on YouTube I believe there aren't any lessons up for the intro of Jimi Hendrix's Catfish Blues. It's a great piece of music. The one thing is that it is a bit complex in that it uses a lot of blues techniques that are not just, the beginner or necessarily intermediate level. So these include pull-off hammer-ons, like stuff like that, which is basically used throughout the song. Lots of pull-offs and bends. And overall left-hand, right-hand technique. So if you want to take this on, let's get into it. So this lick starts on the bottom E string on the 3rd fret. It'll be played with your middle finger and with just the slightest bit of bend. It's also, if you're going fingerstyle, which I would recommend, you just snap the bottom string. And then after this, with our pointer finger, on the 2nd fret of the D string, we'll just be playing a little trill, so just a bunch of hammer-ons and pull-offs. So you shouldn't need a pick for this, just remember to keep a firm pointer finger so you attack the string and also pull off of it. Okay, so that's a classic blues move. So what we've got so far is the bottom snap and then the trill. And while you're playing the trill, you'll want to kind of play the top 2 strings in a sort of scarce sort of way, just so that it's very subtle. And then after that, we'll pick the D string about 3 or 4 times. And then finish off on the open D. Again, that's... Okay. So just to go through what we've got so far. 1, 2, 3, open D. Now we go to the bottom E string, and starting with our 3rd finger on the 5th fret, we'll have to have our pointer finger ready, fretting the 3rd fret. And what we do is we pick that string and then hammer on with our pinky, then pull off. So we hammer on and pull off, and then pull off with our 3rd finger. And then we pull off with our pointer finger like that. And then play the top 2 strings. The second part of this very detail-filled lick involves a series of double stops that Jimi plays. So this starts with playing both the G and B string together. Remember that a double stop is just 2 notes being played at the same time. So we pick both the G and B open. Then right after we pick those 2 open strings, we hammer on with our 1st finger on the 1st fret of just the G string. So there's our hammer on. Right after this double stop, we play a 2nd double stop with both the open B and open E, high E strings. So the 1st double stop, then the 2nd double stop. Now the 3rd double stop again involves both the G and B open, not open strings, just the G and B strings. The G is, like I said, is not going to be open. It'll involve a bend on the 2nd fret. Since this is really low down on the strings and the tension is very high, I'd recommend that you do this bend with maybe 2 fingers. I prefer using the middle and ring finger for this bend. So it'll just be a little bend going up and coming back down. Now after we do this, we do a pull off. And again, remember this is a double stop, so throw in that open B with it as well. So this is the third double stop in the second part of the lick. Right after this, we hit the second fret of the D string in that sort of trill way. Okay. So we've now come to the final part of the lick. This is the third part of the lick, and it's really good to practice this part of the lick slowly, as it could be the most difficult part. It starts on the second fret of the A string, and what it is a chromatic sort of hammer-on. So it goes, you pick that, then hammer on with the middle finger, then hammer on with the third finger. And then hit the second fret of the D string. So fast. Then what happens is with our third finger, and actually we bend with all three fingers, on the fourth fret of the D string, we do a little pull. Okay, so far we've got. And then right after that we do a similar sort of pull-off hammer-on motion that we did earlier in part 1 of this lick. It starts with our third finger on the fourth fret of the D string, second finger on the, first finger on the second fret of the D string, and our pinky ready to hammer onto the fifth fret. So we pick that fourth fret, hammer on with the pinky, pull off with the pinky, pull off with the third finger, and then we've got that whole motion. Then what we do is we go down back to the A string on the fourth fret, then do that same sort of rolling motion, then hit the second fret of the D string, and then hit the low E string. So once again, that's, and you can sort of finish it off with the bottom two, with the high two strings. Then hit the second fret of the D string, and then hit the low E string. So once again, that's